right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Spread Zone. We're recording Wednesday, August 19th, 2026, noon Central. And this week, Tim, we're doing something a little different. One event, one board, one mission.
Boom.
The 2026 BMW Championship. So quick housekeeping, we are sportsbook neutral. Shopping numbers, and we're focusing on process here. So my name is Riz, and the golf guy is Tim McKernan. Tim, you've been down to Bellerive.
I have been there. I was there in 1992 for the PGA Championship, in 2018 for the PGA Championship, and I was there yesterday just on a full scouting mission.
Scouting stuff out
to give people an edge that they can't find anywhere else. I have been on the grounds. I played the course a month ago, for that matter.
So Bellerive Golf Course is, about a mile from where we're sitting right here?
In that range, you're right.
This is playoff golf.
Yep.
And playoff golf is different. The pressure's different. The way you bet it, I think, should be different. So picture the scene. We are in St. Louis, Missouri, Bellerive Country Club. It's a big property.
Yep.
Big trees, big ballpark energy, because this is the playoffs. And it's not just to go play 4 rounds. This is your season is on the line. So when you were out there yesterday, what'd you see? Did you see some of the heavy hitters practicing?
Yeah, absolutely. Followed Scottie Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, the big names. And the thing that stands out to me is they are playing this golf course that is normally a par 72 is a par 70. Mm-hmm. Number 4 in 2018 was a par 5. It will be a par 4 for this event. And number 10, which is a par 5 for members, will also be a par 4 as it was in 2018. So it'll play as a par 70, so keep that in mind when you're looking at betting the total score. And then in addition, they have tried to protect the golf course with the rough being super thick. Now, more inside word from those who are golf wagerers. And in St. Louis, we are aware of this. Outside of St. Louis, you would not be. We have had some heavy rain.
Yes.
And that can impact the way a golf course plays, because it can soften up the greens and make it more scoreable. If a golf course is going to be protected, it can get in a spot where it will be firmer if it is drier, but that is not the case. So that should allow the players to attack a little more aggressively, because it'll be a bit softer than if it would be dry and hot.
It rained this morning. It's Wednesday, so it rained this morning. Rained hard this morning.
Yeah, big time.
Is it supposed to rain tomorrow or throughout the weekend?
There is some occasional storms in the forecast. Now, I don't think you're going to have days of rain, but I think you're going to have pop-up storms, which will continue to keep the grounds soft, and players then capitalize on that, and they can fire at pins on their approaches as opposed to have to be worrying that the ball could roll off.
You know, it's great. The temperature's not going to be
it's going to be glorious. It's like mid-80s. Yeah, it's perfect.
Mid-80s. I'm going on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
My first ever.
Oh, is that right?
I've never been to a PGA event.
Yeah. You're going to get to see the best in the world. Top 50 in the world.
Top 50 in the world.
The top 30 advance to Eastlake for the Tour Championship next week in Atlanta.
So let me ask you, before we get to the betting angles here, as somebody who is going to their first PGA event, how do you approach this? I mean, do you park yourself at a hole?
That's my recommendation.
Do you walk around? Do you follow a golfer? What do you recommend?
If you have children and you want to get autographs, that's a different approach. If you want to hang out and just be able to enjoy some beverages, some food, and see everybody come through, I'd park myself at a hole. That would be my recommendation.
I'm going with my 17-year-old son.
Oh, nice. Then I'll make it easy for you. Go to number 17. And the reason being, it's a par 5, 625 yards. So you will see guys in that position on Sunday have to be aggressive.
Yeah.
On the second to last hole, and then you'd be able to see the players tee off on number 18 right behind you. So that is a prime spot to be. 625 yards. That is the hole in 2018 that Tiger, who was in the mix to win, went a little right, and there's a creek that runs alongside, and that's kind of where his effort to win the championship ended, and Brooks Koepka wound up winning.
So park yourself at the 17th green.
That's what I did in 1992 with my grandfather.
You bring a chair?
There are stands there, so you don't need to worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and that way you can just turn around and see the players hit their tee shots on 18. I feel really good about that recommendation.
Are you going on Sunday?
It's my son's birthday, and we're planning on going out there.
Wow.
Yeah, yep.
And he's going to be getting autographs and the whole thing?
Yeah, we were out there yesterday getting autographs.
Nice.
He's got a thing for Tommy Fleetwood. I think it's because I have no hair. Tommy Fleetwood has the lid, and I think it's an overcorrection, maybe speaking of a yearning of a different father figure. We'll investigate that more in coming episodes.
You know, as a tease, I may have something for Tommy Fleetwood, too. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Listen,
I think that's a nice tease.
If you are, a golfer and this is the playoffs and you're sitting around, you sit around that bubble, every decision changes. A safe line off the tee suddenly looks tempting until you realize you might need a top finish. And of course, and if the course plays softer, which tends to happen when rain is in play, that can turn Bellerive into a place where long hitters can attack more and good iron players can fire at pins, as you mentioned, without the ball bouncing off into trouble.
Yep.
So before we say names here, what's your philosophy for betting a playoff event like this?
Well, I think you have to look at motivation. We sometimes talk about that with college football bowls, and, the player who has gotten the most attention, I think, over the last couple of years outside of Scottie Scheffler is Rory McIlroy, because Scheffler is plus 310 to win this thing. And I just think that Rory McIlroy's kind of checked out. He played horribly this past weekend at the FedEx St. Jude. He acknowledged that he hasn't really been playing that much. There's a video on social media hanging out with his buddies at Ibiza here a couple weeks ago after the British Open. Once he won the Grand Slam in 2025 and then won the Masters again this year, and I don't even know how great he was. He's just got the distance and it plays well at the Masters. I think I don't know how motivated he is. So I would short the Rory McIlroy market. I just don't think he's really locked in right now, Riz.
Well, when you've achieved pretty much every goal.
Yeah. I just don't think I'll be really curious.
You don't think his heart's into it?
I think the majors are what he cares about, and I don't think that this is a big thing for him this week. So it's a no-cut event, so you can't bet him to not make the cut. Yeah. But if you were looking at matchups, if you wanted to make a play there, that is where I would go hunting to short the Rory McIlroy market, because I just think that this is a guy who kind of is like, I've got to be here. That's part of the deal. And I need to make sure that I'm here because I'm a PGA Tour guy and it'd look bad if I skipped out. So I got to be here. Right. He shot like 274s last week at the FedEx St. Jude. If that's where they were having the PGA Championship or the U.S. Open, there's no way he is. I just think he's kind of checked out. That's what, and I also understand it, but I think it's an opportunity for those of us who might be looking. And here's a play for you. I know it's very costly, but my goodness, I love it. The matchup that they have is Scottie Scheffler versus Rory McIlroy. It's minus 350, but I think it falls into the category of free money. I just don't think Rory's there, and Scheffler won last week, and he's trying to win the $20 million prize. Scheffler's going to be locked in. He was working on his game all day yesterday. He cares. I just don't think Rory is there. I'd be shocked. I mean, shocked.
Did you see Rory yesterday?
Saw him finishing off number 18. He had told people throughout the day to wait for him at number 18 for autographs. So as you can imagine, there were hundreds of people on either side. And then there must be like some secret tunnel under the stands, because once he got done with 18, he bolted under the stands and
He Houdini'd.
Whereas Scheffler, to his credit, signed. Ricky Fowler signed for everybody.
Stayed out there and signed.
Yeah. So I just don't think he's in the mindset of this is a top priority. If it were Augusta National, different conversation.
That's a great matchup, Scheffler versus...
You got to pay for it. It's minus 350. I realize that, but my goodness.
Worth the price of admission.
I really like it. I mean, if all of a sudden Rory goes, I'm turning it back on, and Scottie's off. But when is the last time Scottie's been off? It's just not the way he is. He's a competitor. Not to say that Rory's not. Rory's just at a different point in his career. So I really like that. I realize it's a ridiculous play because it's minus 350, but God, is it good.
Do you want to make any outright picks?
Yeah, I love making outright picks. I keep talking about this guy. I know it's at this point almost a running joke. His name's Alex Smalley. He was leading the PGA Championship going to the final round. He's so good. He just falls apart on weekends. So if you wanted to look at it through the lens of a round leader, he's plus 4,600 to be the first round leader. He's really, really talented. He's plus 8,000 2,000 to win the whole thing, Riz. So that's my long shot play. He's just super talented. I just don't know if he can keep it together on a weekend. Outright plays, you can't ignore Scottie Scheffler. It's super chalky, so I feel bad even giving that to people. The other one that I think is one to keep an eye on, who isn't a big name, but I think this golf course suits his game and he can turn it on at a moment's notice and you're getting big value, is Gary Woodland at plus 10,000. And then finally, as far as a name that would be more in the realm of, okay, he could actually do this thing, it would be Cam Young, plus 2,000.
So my first outright swing is Tommy Fleetwood.
Like, I'd love to see it for family.
I mean, I'm not asking Tommy to be the flashiest. I'm asking him to be the most steady. And this is a high-stress week.
Yep.
And at Bellerive, as we mentioned before, you're going to see a lot of long approaches into big greens. You're going to see tricky two putts from distance and holes where par is a good score, even if the winning number gets low. Fleetwood, to me, is the kind of player who could say patient. He could stack good decisions and then catch a hot streak. So this is you don't have to win every hole course. It's a don't punch yourself in the face course. And I think that is Tommy Fleetwood's profile.
Yeah, that matches his profile. He is rock solid.
Long shot for me to win outright. What do you think about Morikawa?
Something is up with him. My son, when we were out there, was asking about him yesterday, and his numbers have gotten really steep, as in really long. I'm sure that's probably what caught your eye.
Yeah.
I was surprised by that. I guess the reason would be he's more of a ball striker, and Bellerive can be a bomber's course, and that's not necessarily his strength.
From everything I read, he's an irons guy.
Yes, indeed.
And when his irons are on, he's on.
Yep.
He could turn stuff into what would be unmanageable, manageable.
Absurd ball striker, yes.
So second outright, I'm taking a swing at it. I'm gonna play Collin Morikawa.
Super talented, and if you were building a daily fantasy roster, you put Morikawa with McIlroy. Most people will not be on them, so if they do have good weekends, you would be in a great position there because most people will not be on Rory McIlroy. At least I don't think they'll be on Rory McIlroy. I certainly wouldn't be after this past weekend. And Morikawa. One that I'm going with that I'll give you a parlay to put together here: Young, Woodland, and Smalley. And these are just top 10 finishes, a top 10 finish for Young, and then top 20 finishes. Keep in mind, there's only 50 people in the field, and there's no cut. So we're talking about top 40%. We're not talking about a top 10 of a 150-person event. If you were to get Cameron Young in the top 10 and Woodland and Smalley in the top 20 and put $100 on that, you would receive $847.
Nice.
So that is a play that I would like to float that for a little sweat for the weekend.
In this season, when I was winning money with golf, it was the top 10s and top 20s.
It's so difficult to pick an outright winner. It's so difficult. Number
you
one,
hit though,
you've always got the Scheffler factor, and you're not going to get paid off on that. Although last week was only his second win of the year, he's been in the mix all the time. A guy that's the second price is Ludwig Aubert, but he's so far behind Scheffler, and maybe it'll be his time. Sam Burns has been lurking. He was in the final group with Scheffler, but he also, like Alex Smalley, tends to have problems on Sundays.
Did you happen to see Matsuyama yesterday?
Did not see Matsuyama. I'm
going to take him as a top 10 finisher.
That's plus 135.
Yeah.
Top 10, yeah.
Yeah, so
he's been playing well as of late.
Yeah,
that's
why,
for certain.
Top 10 bets, top 10 bet lets us be right even if the favorite wins. He doesn't need to lift the trophy. He just needs to be in the mix all week.
And again, it's only 50 players, and it's a no cut. So your guy, even if he has a rough first day, is going to be around on Sunday. And then the cream rises to the top. And also, another thing to factor in if you are wagering on this thing is for most of these guys, it's all about getting to Eastlake next week, and you got to be in the top 30. So if you're lurking right on that cut line of 30, you are going to be pushing it to get into that spot. And so you're going to have some players in that position on Sunday afternoon where they know they're not going to win the event, but they're trying to get in the top 30 on points. And that's what it's all about, because then you have that $20 million prize waiting for you if you win next week at Eastlake.
You got any more picks?
No, I really like the McIlroy matchup, shorting that market. Again, I recognize minus 350 is a ridiculous price, but man, do I love it, because I just think he's checked out and he's just kind of fulfilling his duty to be here. My long shots of Alex Smalley and Gary Woodland. And then I'll take Cam Young as my non-Scottie Scheffler play, Riz.
Well, let's take a quick break. We'll come back, and maybe we'll talk some quick fades and cautions for betting on the BMW Championship. It's a Spread Zone. All right, welcome back to the Spread Zone. Riz and Tim McKernan talking the 2026 BMW Championship here at Bellerive in St. Louis. So, quick caution list. Not that these guys are bad, Tim. Just a price matters reminder. So, if you're betting a top of board name at a short number, you're paying for near perfection. And in golf, that's expensive.
It's very difficult.
So, for me, building a card, with Matsuyama coming top 10, Fleetwood to win, Morikawa to win. I'm building a card around value and stability, not who's most famous. So, we were talking about, Bellerive, par 70, long yardage, bent grass, what matters most, distance, iron play, around the green, or putting. Who we fading? We're fading. We talked about McIlroy.
Yeah, and you can bet his first round score over under is at 67.5. Now, for the record, again, the course is set up as a par 70. So that means if Rory were to shoot anything 2 under or worse, you're going to cash. 3 under, he covers the under. That's minus 138. But again, I'll be really curious on this. I don't know how the course is going to play because of the weather. He's got great distance. I mean, the man can absolutely crush.
Well, what's the most important thing that matters? Is it distance? Is it iron play? Is it around the green? Or is it putting?
So with 2 of the par 5s reduced to par 4s, you're going to have guys. I was watching guys on number 4 yesterday, which was a par 5 in 2018, is now a par 4, and they're hitting short irons in, but that's because they've moved the tees up. It's a par 4. So that then mitigates the importance on that of getting there in 2. I don't know how many players will be able to get there in 2 on a 625-yard hole. So that may mitigate the 2-shot advantage that guys like McIlroy normally would have. So with that all said, I think it's a different factor than we had in 2018 when the course was a par 71, because that was a par 5 at number 4. The thing that stands out to me about Bellerive, the greens are huge. They are absolutely huge. So it's a tough stat to predict, but I think you're going to notice that people who are really rolling the ball well are going to have success. I noticed a lot of guys spending a long time on the greens yesterday. Fleetwood was on the greens forever to get a feel for those greens, because Bellerive has monster greens. The opposite of Bellerive would be like a harbor town where the greens are super small. So players who are rolling it really well, that would work to their advantage, as is the case. And Cameron Young's been rolling it so well as of late. That's why I went with Cam Young.
What's the one hole to watch at this course? What's your favorite
the one
hole
that I
to
told
watch?
you to set up with your
17?
son, 17 will be one of intrigue, because it's going to be a do or die moment for players. Another one that I would recommend is number 11. It's a drivable par 4. It follows number 10, which for members is a par 5. But it's drivable. And so you have...
You're going to see some players taking chances?
Yeah, absolutely. On Sunday, on the back 9, water on the right, you can go in there. You can blow it through there because these guys have ridiculous distance. And now you've got a really difficult shot coming back. My guess is the pin will be in the back to penalize players if they go long, that they're going to have a short side shot coming back. And then Justin Thomas in 2018 hit somebody when he fired it left, but fans are on the hillside, and so balls come sailing in there because it's a great opportunity to try to get yourself an eagle, and if you 2-putt, you get a birdie if you're on that green. So number 11 would be a really good one to watch, and that's where some people can pick up a couple strokes.
Right.
If their opponent goes into the water and they take a 5 and they find themselves with a birdie or maybe even an eagle if they're able to drive that green.
All right, well, good luck to everyone betting on the 2026 BMW Championship here at Bellerive. Anything else, Tim?
No, that's going to do it. I'm looking forward to this one, the top 50 in the world.
All right, good luck. Bet smart. We'll talk to you next week. It's the Spread Zone.
We provide information about sports betting for entertainment purposes only. Please confirm gambling regulations in your state of residence. To participate in sports gaming, you must be 21 years of age or older and be physically present in a state where sports betting is legal. If you or someone you know has a sports betting or gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org for more information and further assistance.